welcome back to the channel. So today we've got the brand new 2024 X2 xDrive28i. This is the U10 chassis, which is a mini platform. So front wheel drive based. It's our HEA, or dealer first production, I think it translates to roughly. Of course, in Brooklyn Gray, we don't have any choice over the colors. This is what BMW gave us. So we also have a M35i model, also a HEA, also in Brooklyn Gray, unfortunately. Just to show off what they are. So I think the launch date is sometime in early March. So that's when they'll be available for sale. I don't imagine many people are going to keep these as demos, dealer-wise. So let's go over what we have in front of us. So obviously it's a huge and drastic change from the previous generation X2. So we take a look at the daytime running lights, which are different than what appears on the X1. So it's more akin to what's on the new 5 Series, the new X5 and new X6, etc. And the front grille, it's a really weird shape going on here. So we got a diamond-shaped type of grille and some triangles built into it. You notice this one does not have a parking assistance camera. So this one does not have the premium package. So it's really sort of on the lightly equipped side of the X2. So no M Sport Professional, which means this grille here is not blacked out. However, it is also available with an illuminated kidney grille, which I think might be a pretty good look. Unfortunately, this one does not have it. Sensors in here could get you driving assistance, plus I'll have to check the Connected Drive store on that one. All right, so let's take a step back and take in the new X2. I guess maybe from the front, maybe this looks a little bit like an XM. I don't know, let me know what you think. Moving over to the side, we have a style 871M wheels. These are 19-inch, and they look kind of on the tiny side, even though they are 19-inch wheels. A little bit of a weird thing going on here with the tire not, or the wheel not filling up the gap better. We have the blue M Sport calipers. And take a step back. I don't know if Brooklyn Gray is the best color to show off the X2. I have seen a Vegas red or fire red in the rest of the world X2 M35i. I think the red does it well. But so in terms of differences in the previous generation X2, you can see the roof line is vastly different. So it was more like a shooting brake design of the previous generation X2. This has got more akin to like the X4 and the X6, so bring it into that side of the family. Let's make our way to the back here and talk about what else is really unusual. You'll see it right now. So it's the taillights. To me, they look like the headlights from the E46 and the pre-LCI version of the G20. And by that, I mean, you see sort of a notch here that is, at least for my eyes, reminiscent of the E46. But interesting taillights, I'd say. Then we got X2 badging and xDrive28i badging in chrome. And a really busy looking diffuser. You can see the exhaust tips are not visible. They are underneath the car there. But a lot going on in the design. Really aggressive looking. Reflector here with the rest of the diffuser, and again, it's a faux diffuser, really. There's not much going on underneath to direct air. And your backup camera's hidden up here. Of course, you got sort of a spoiler looking thing here. So interesting design. And it does stick out there. I'll take a step back and take in the other side of the X2. So you can take in this shape. That's a really big looking fuel door. All right, so let's make our way inside, go over pricing and options on this X2. All right, so opening up, we have the Mocha perforated Vagans, and that's an interesting choice to go against Brooklyn Gray, because it does kind of work. My preference would be for a red color. But at least on the X1, the Mocha perforated Vaganza means you have to get the sport seats, which this one does have. but a decent looking, sort of like a bucket shape to it as well. And then this one does not have any adjustments for lumbar support. That again is an option on the X1 and X2. And a manual crumb catcher. And then door sill, absent of any logos, which is really strange. And then the door card, a little bit of contrast stitching on the upper portion of the door card. Alright, so on the inside, your M Sport steering wheel, which I think looks really nice. It's a little bit on the girthy side. Then you got our M badging down here. Again, no stitching, because this is the xDrive28i, so the M35i version does have that. Then shift paddles for the M Sport. You got a boost thing there. And then in front of me, xDrive28i live cockpit. No heads-up display, because that requires at least the technology package or premium package. And my experience with xDrive28i so far has been, it is a bit laggy, and there are a few bugs, so I think it's still a work in progress. For the most part, it looks just like 8.5. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Connected Drive store and see anything that we can add to the vehicle. So you can get Driving Assistance Plus, which is basically active cruise control, even though the car was not equipped with it. But Driving Assistance Pro, you have to spec that from factory in order to get it, at least for now. I did notice the steering wheel does have the LEDs on there, which is interesting. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the pricing and option. And before I go, I think this is the high gloss black trim. Otherwise, this looks very similar to what's on the X1. And underneath the skin, of course, it is just like the X1. All right, so starting price of the 2024 X2 xDrive28i, $42,000 even. Metallic paint adds another $650, and all of the upholstery or interior is included. Convenience package for $1,850. M Sport package for another $2,500. And then that's the only two options other than the colors that are on the car. So also MSRP of this particular example, just a bit under $48,000. I think obviously a big departure in terms of price from the previous generation X2, which may or may not have been your cup of tea. I guess what I'll miss is the galvanic gold X2s. The door width, I think, is pretty decently sized, and the roof line is not that drastic in terms of slope. But you will have to duck down. It's a little bit difficult, even though it's not too drastic. So here's the view of the cockpit from the back seat. Got our moonroof shade open, their panoramic moonroof, which does not open. In the back, just have USB-C charging ports, just vents. There are no extra climate control zones. Now the seat is not exactly where I left it. This does have the comfort exit, which as soon as you unbuckle your seatbelt, I think you also be in park, it will move the seat back for exit and entrance. But even that said, knee room and legroom, not too bad. And headroom, not too bad either. So surprising side there. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the trunk. All right, make our way to the back here. Then we can use our kick to open. All right, so here's the cargo area, which is a little bit on the compromised side just because you have the sloping roof line. But you do have extra space down below. No spare tire included in this one. But you do have the mobility kit because these are all non-run flat tires now. You can also fold down those rear seats for a little bit of extra room. All right, for whatever reason, does not want to kick the close. All right, to make our way to the front and pop the hood here, you take in the X2. All right, so underneath the hood here is the B48 inline-4 2-liter turbo engine, and it's going to be 241 horsepower and 295 torques. Basically, it's the X1. So all those things still apply to the X2. And a dual clutch transmission. One of only 2 vehicles that you can currently get new with a dual clutch transmission. Now, is it like the dual clutch of the M2, M3, M4, and previous generations M5? No. But it's a decent transmission, and you will have to drive it in sport to get the most out of it. It's a little bit clunky in comfort. But that's it for a quick look at the newest X2. And we'll see you at the next video.